Position like this, their eyes are immediately going to be glued to that side of the map, as Yike is going to round out with one of his old school carry junglers.
Amazing, love it. Anytime we get Yike either Kha'Zix or Bel'Veth, I get
comes up, helps him out a little bit. Looks like we have Bel'Veth coming back towards mid as well. And remember, no flash here either.
Oh, Palafox, he's got to try to get away from this one. Can he out-juke the enemy Bel'Veth? No, it's first blood.
You want the good news for NRG, not a significant difference in the gold so far.
Yeah, let's see about Ignar though.
Ignar, 150 HP left, trying to walk it off. Thick skin keeps him alive. FBI looking to put the damage into Hans Sama. Mickey now the one, soaking the damage, and FBI blast.
Doesn't have a lot of late game damage.
X flash over the wall from Mickey, but they're ready to turn it around. Pop Blossom under two. Senna ulti comes in for the bottom lane, and Contracts goes for the ult. Caps is down, and Yike is on the run. Palafox and Contracts are looking for another, but they'll settle with the kill on G2's mid laner. Mickey barely hops away, but Ignar's going in. He won't quite have the tongue to get it done, but now Yike's got to retreat as well.
These early game fights, we concede. You do have a very good early game setup, and they don't want to take it. So, NRG. Ultimate, if Yike is not there, we can at least get a flash out of Broken Blade. Maybe they get the kill also. If he is there, they have to back off though.
A TP's coming in from both sides now. Ignar using the Devour, keeping his 80 carry safe, spits it back out now. Palafox looking for the knockup, only finds the Pop Blossom onto Cap. Mickey's still trying to walk away. A lot of damage on both supports, but Mickey's the first to fall. Another TP.
Scaling options available to them. Possible side lane play there.
FBI getting stunned up here. They're going to chain C, see him down, and Caps gets the second kill of the game.
Bot lane.
Oh, Broken Blade, walking into the brush. Contracts is ready to go. Dokla follows it up, and the helicopter.
Dokla now in a 1v2 scenario. With no flash, he'll play it much safer.
CC nicely done by NRG, and now they're looking for Hans Sama.
Han's in some trouble as the Vault Breaker connects, and Palafox pummels.
Now G2 is responding.
G2 ready to look for Dokla here. Caps and Broken Blade putting pressure onto the turret. As Dokla knocks Broken Blade back, he forces him to flash away. Otherwise,
Dokla, but he's staying there under the turret. Meanwhile, the rest of NRG, teleport comes through. They actually want to go for a counter gank.
All right, they want to bring somebody in to make something happen here. Palafox, he finds the knockup onto the enemy jungler. Nearly get 100-0 Yike. The Bel'Veth only stays alive long enough to die to Contracts as Caps wants to run away, and Ignar's ready for the chase. He lands the first tongue lash, and he's ready to get those stacks. Contracts comes in, Caps falls down, FBI.
Huge underdogs here versus G2, but they are accomplishing the goal they need with this early game snowball composition. The Senna doing wonders.
Here we go again. Broken Blade under pressure. Palafox making the rotation up as Dokla goes all out. Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Senna ultimate. And the Pop Blossom is so awesome. It's NRG ready to win another one, but now Yike's ready for the follow-up, and Dokla's got to run. The damage pours through. They lock down the enemy carry. Hansama falls. FBI's free firing. G2 cannot escape. Ace for nothing.
NRG are relentless. It is bottom play into top play into bottom play into top play again, and they've got a Rift Herald to push it ahead.
It is just an absolute slaughter from the side of NRG. It started with the range advantage, then winning skirmishes in the bot 2v2. Mickey now in danger.
Mickey, oh no, buddy, get out of there. The crash down. Will it get him away? He tries to flash, but the 5 will run him down. Contracts is on a rampage.
5 faster. It feels like that they're always collapsing first. They find another pick on the Mickey. He now finds himself with 5 deaths as NRG are sieging onto the mid tier 2. We're not with the Cassante hovering in the enemy jungle to just keep that
Those are the
control
shortest
up.
arrows I've ever seen.
Yeah, there was just, to illustrate a point, Kobe. My point was illustrated.
NRG.
Who's going to keep him out?
Baron, and they got it down to half HP. G2 on the approach. Contracts over the back wall. Palafox. 3-man Pop Blossom, but nobody ain't died yet. The first one down to Hansama, and G2's on the run. Broken Blade tries to go back over the wall, but FBI's already on a killing spree, and Contracts is going to be backed up. The helicopter won't save him. Dokla's unstoppable.
That Baron, but that turn from NRG was clean. Yike's still alive. Surely they won't give him access to the pit.
Yike is close. Ignar goes up the wall, exhaust onto the Bel'Veth. Palafox surviving the unleashed power thanks to the stasis. Yikes, still being scared away by Contracts. He goes back in with a ball breaker. The Belveth getting absolutely slammed in the 1v1 fight. Contracts is not in the pit. Yike might be able to go over the wall. The Baron's still at 2 HP. His cap is going to be taken very low, but Yike ain't back in the pit now either, as the Baron's finally going to be secured by Contracts. Broken Blade shows up. He decides to re-engage back over the wall versus Ignar. Energy on the retreat as G2 continues moving. They cannot contest this. It's Hex Soul for Energy.
I mean, at this point, gentlemen, it feels like the G2 are just buying time to talk more about pushing in mid. 4 members using their range, FBI just chipping away at the health bars of G2, and they're limited in their ways to stop him.
The range is so powerful. Gonna be stunned up now by Caps, but Palafox ready to turn it around. Ulti over the top. Mickey gonna be taken low, but he ain't killed yet. Finally dropped. Contracts goes godlike. Hans is ready to jump in, and Caps kills Palafox. It is a 1-for-1 trade saw 4 with the more valuable player dying on Energy's side, but the time that they bought is going to get them into the base. First inhibitor turret, first inhibitor, both down.
G2 just going for a Hail Mary play.
Hard send it just yet. They're going to keep getting these waves up, but without the Baron, it's pretty easy for G2 and Caps to clear those waves away. Instead, it's going to be Caps getting engaged on. He drops the stasis to stay alive. Massive counter engage coming out from Mickey, but it will not matter. They're still going in. Yike, barely surviving, getting away now with a stopwatch as Energy tries to regroup. Mickey goes for a crash down, but he's only going to be brought down. Yike stays alive under the tier 3 turret as Broken Blade and Hans try to retreat. Contracts leads the charge, and Yike is finally dropped down. The tier 3 turret falls, and with a 5v2 advantage, this should be it. Energy are on their march to the Nexus turrets. All 5 players still alive. Han's gonna be knocked up into the air, taken down. They're all out, they're all in, and Energy are all about this game number 1. All 5 players standing tall as the Nexus will drop, and Energy will take game 1.
Contracts legendary on the
Vedius. Ooh, the Sivir, the final pick of the draft here for FBI.
Okay.
So, when I look at G2's comp, they've simplified the draft.
Flash to get away over the wall. Broken Blade using the Ornhorn to try to get the wave shoved up, recognizing that his opponent has left. First streak of the game, 7 minutes in. Goes out earlier, Vedius, with how difficult it is to engage on Energy's comp. I think both comps are a similar way, as Mickey and Caps are now both going in. Mickey's taken very low, but it's first blood over to Contracts. The Jarvan.
They're not going to go for it.
Wow, they're backing away. I thought for sure they would decide to just jump in for this.
Yeah, that could be a bot lane dive then for Energy.
There's not going to be any dive instead, so we don't actually get any turret dives from either team on any part of the map just yet, but Mickey goes fishing. He finds himself a connect. Dredge line onto FBI, who has to try to flash away. The feathers fly, and FBI will not survive. Hans Sama.
Energy with the 2 dragons and Palafox looking for.
Ooh, Caps, nice job there using the disengage. Now Dokla's coming down to try to stop him, but he's got to be careful. Caps still trying to get away from this one. Dokla now finally not overheated anymore. Caps getting away. Nice movement there. Doesn't even have to spin the flash to get away from the Jarvan Cataclysm, as Energy tried to make a move, but they won't find it. Now the Ornhorn is summoned up. Contracts with a re-engage back into Caps. They want to try to stop it, but now Dokla's got to be careful. Ignar and Yike both making their way into the fight as Dokla's only got 300 HP remaining. Mickey with another big dredge line. Ignar and Contracts here with the front line. Contracts has caught Caps. Huge re-engage coming out from Energy as the Poppy disengage now.
Constantly, back in the action.
Back in the action as Mickey and Yike got to try to get away. Contracts with the engage on the enemy support. FBI's got the damage, but his Contracts getting the credit. Yike's
looking for Dokla.
Dokla playing around the blast cone, trying to be careful. Weaver's wall over the edge. G2 are going to be equalized. Hansama goes up into the air as the Ornhorn is sounded off. A lot of damage. Back onto the middle as Ignar drops, but he's going to be traded for Mickey. Support for support. Palafox goes over the wall. They burn down Yike. Broken Blade with a knock-up back into Palafox, but now he's not able to find the damage. Hans is firing off, and Caps is still alive. A seismic shovel to Caps. They found the enemy mid. Energy 4v2, but health is low. Hansama is cut to ribbons by the boomerang blade of FBI.
And Energy are going to pick up the dragon. Palafox with the flank up into the fog of war, onto the high ground, and he seismic shoved the Azir. Caps goes down, and in a series-defining game. This NRG team is built of players that
out just yet. This is a team that has shown tenacity, that has shown the ability to scrap, even when behind. Broken Blade coming in for the knockout. Palafox is just swooped to death as Contracts is ready to bring the same back to G2. Caps falls, and now they gotta try to get Yike out of trouble. He wants to run away, but the Jarvan with the EQ flash, and Ignar ain't done. He's gonna look to see if they might be able to find something else. Nice buffer from Broken Blade as Contracts goes in, but the equalizer comes down over the top. Contracts might just die. Huge shutdown back for Hans, but he'll fall after. Mickey wants to get out, but FBI cut.
And with Caps going 1-for-1 under the tower there for Palafox, NRG gonna have a lot that they remember from last time. Here we go, G2.
All right. The Drake's already down to half HP. Contracts ready to challenge. Equalizer over the wall as the Ornhorn comes out. Finds a single knockout, but it's going to be spell shielded. Caps with a swoop on the 2. Massive engage coming up from G2 when FBI is killed. Caps is going to be traded back as we now have a 4v4. Contract still looking to go back in. It's Palafox stealing away the soul. G2 gets a 2-for-1 victory, but it's soul back over to Energy. G2 trying to path their way up back towards the middle of the map, maybe over to Baron.
That was crazy. Even though NRG are losing the fight, Hans was untouched. They still managed, Contracts and Palafox, to combo the Dragon. Mickey goes in!
Mickey! He ends up sending a dredge line straight from the food delivery service. Broken Blade, Yike, and Hans now in a 3v3. Any chance of Baron is dashed as Palafox continues looking. Might be able to find a seismic shove. He flashed forward. Palafox with a crazy play. It won't find it yet, but they'll get Broken Blade at the very end.
The crucial thing here now is Contract have to give this up. I don't think that they can contest it.
Oh no, he walks right into the brush. Dokla's ready to provide the damage. Ignar may just die for it. Ignar lives, Caps at 400 HP. Dokla finally getting the heat gauge back. Caps burns.
The seed of the LEC.
They still gotta close it out. 6,000 gold up. Hex Soul in their pocket. G2, it's all about Hans. It's all about Caps. If they're gonna win, they'll have to have a massive turnaround against this Energy squad who has been team fighting beautifully.
They've been doing everything this series. NRG have come to play. Tower number 2 down in mid lane. They're gonna rotate over to the top side. We get a recall from Broken Blade, and there go G2.
Mickey over the wall, flash dredge line, looking to engage on Ignar, but the stopwatch means no dice. Now Energy ready to keep their own push going on. FBI keeping the Baron on the cannon minion back in the mid lane. Dokla, Palafox, Contracts all working together here on the top side. Weaver's Wall, a beautiful tool for just making it so you can kill the turret. Mickey's gonna be pushed back. Seismic shove, they won't kill him just yet. Horn sounds off. Dokla's knocked up into the air. Palafox may be under pressure. Now they're gonna find some damage on Contract, but he won't be killed just yet. Caps is down. Dokla unstoppable. And now Mickey falls too. Broken Blade will be broken in half. Yike and Hans are on the run, but they won't get far. Poppy can't live. Hans can't stop him.
The loyal, the unwavering, the faithful shall be rewarded.
It is an ace for one. Nobody thought they'd win LCS. Nobody thought they'd beat G2. It's time to change your minds. Energy, win the game, defeat G2, and go to the quarterfinals.
What an upset.
Faces right now, because this is not only for NRG making it to the quarterfinals, but such a hit in terms of the strife that NA has had versus EU for so many years.
Let's go!
It's huge. It's huge.
And I know, listen, G2's got a chance tomorrow to still make it. This just needs to sink in still.
Yes.
And it's incredible, actually, that NRG acquired CLG, and the last time I had this unreal feeling was when CLG won their first split back in Madison Square Garden in 2015 of the LCS. It's been 7 or 8 years. NRG, first-time Worlds participant, Palafox, Dokla, and the way they played today was without fear. It was without history, basically. They didn't let any of the demons of North America come back and bite them. and they frickin' did it. I am so unbelievably proud of the way they played, and it still doesn't feel completely real to me.
It's gonna sink in, I think, and the good thing is that they can let it sink in because they have now earned the honor of taking a few days to kind of look at what they have achieved. Maurits, a couple of words about this last game specifically. Even though it was a little slower in the beginning, Dokla also never let up.
It's for me, NRG have been able, and I really want to tie this into into bigger perspective as mentioned, specifically that they're never afraid. And I think that, as you know, Dokla personifies this very much outgame as well. But to me, Contracts and Ignar were absolute master classes today. Like, I was so impressed, and I think Contracts we'll talk about a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Ignar, to me, coming up, right, with the amount of setup that he found here today against his old teammate. He even flashed the Misfit sign as the Nexus fell. And, you know, back then, Misfits, they got close, but they weren't able to actually get the upset. The fact that NRG, a team that wasn't supposed to win their own league, does it against G2, who, and I include myself in this, like, I love chaos. Coming into the day, I was like, if RNG wins, that's cool. Or NRG rather. But the fact that they actually do it, and in a 2-0 is so insanely
it's so
impressive.
Crazy. It's not even a 1-2. It's not even, I think, that you had
It's
to
their
be
specialty.
really too afraid.
It's their specialty. Nobody believes in them, and then they dunk on you. That's just what they do. Their draft prep has been so good, and I know I should have put in an official graphics request for this, but this is one of the reasons that North American fans can be so happy right now. Teams that have actually made it out of the group stage or the Swiss stage, 0-0-0-1, and it was a 2-4 Cloud9 who won a tiebreaker, and now NRG, who has done it in the most convincing fashion since maybe the last 2 times ago we were in Korea 2014, like
maybe in terms of the score and the result, for sure. You could argue opponents, of course, you know. But I have this guy on my desk. I actually had him on my desk since yesterday, and we saw Fairy Tail last year at Worlds. It was the biggest one we could have gotten, but I'm actually bought into what I'm seeing transpiring in front of my eyes right now. And I'm not going out on a limb saying, yeah, they're going to win their quarterfinal, but it's you couldn't write it any better, you know, up against it in NA. Then yes, they did well, of course, in the first stages of the Swiss stage. People would say they didn't have the hardest draw, but nobody's going to argue that this was a mountain to climb.
They did not have the hardest draw, and I'm fully willing to admit that, but there's been so many draws where the #1 seed from North America gets the hardest group, so it's about damn time they get an easy group. So here, they beat 2 EU teams, they beat an NA team, but they 2-0'd the strongest Western team who'd actually beaten 2 Eastern teams to earn their spot. I do want to correct myself, NA did get out in 2018.
Yes,
How could I forget?
It's
because they got 3-0'd by EU, and I blocked that from my memory in the semifinals, but this one felt
I did as
different.
well.
I can't wait.
That was a freaka.
I can't wait.
It was a freaka, indeed. When it comes to the graphic, I don't know if we can pull it up on the Telestrator by any chance, but
probably.
See, G2 was a team that came to Worlds also with everything in their back pocket that they set out to improve, right? That they said, we do not want a repetition of what happened at MSI. We want to make it happen. Now, you actually had the red carpet, they even called it like that, laid out for you, and you fumbled the bag tremendously. And tomorrow, these are the teams you may have to face.
Yeah, and they'll also play the loser of this game is going to be dropping into that. So they can play anyone. It doesn't matter if it was a 2-1 team or a 1-1 team. Everyone in that 2-2 is put in the same pool, and they'll play a best of 3 literally tomorrow. And the biggest questions they have to answer were not proven to be PowerPoints for them in this series. It's that 80 carry meta. The bans of Kalista Draven work great. The Xayah didn't work great for Hansama.
It didn't.
And they have less than 24 hours to remedy that.
They do. Thank you for that, schedule makers. Kind of whack, but you got to play tomorrow. But the Oppo player of the series was Contracts. Oh, Jat, just lay out the story for me again.
I mean, there are days where Contracts is literally the best player in the game, and that happened today. His Vi, so incredibly active. They were one-shotting people, but notice how he's always coordinated with his teammate. I'd say as well as this freezes for a second.
It's just ours, I think.
His Jarvan in the second game was more impressive to me than his Vi in game 1. He had so many perfect turns in situations where you could feel scared. 3v4s, team fights that looked like they wouldn't go NRG's favor, and he was the turning factor in almost all of them.
And particularly for me,